You all are gonna think it's crazy how I made $120,000 in pure profit in less than 4 months with just one single flip. What's up everyone? My name is Priyesh and today I'm gonna share the exact strategy that has changed my life forever. It's flipping and wholesaling real estate. Flipping and wholesaling allows you to create a lot of income quickly. And when you generate massive amounts of cash, you create opportunities for yourself to live a better lifestyle, maybe build out a business with predictable cash flow every single month, or even just take those profits and go on a vacation, retire your parents, get your spouse the dream ring they always wanted. Whatever you want to do, creating a lot of active income can help you get there through flipping and wholesaling. As a real estate investor, flipper, and developer, I have created a system that brings the best deals to me. I fund them with little to no money, and they sell for premiums. Through using this system, I have been able to build a 7-figure flipping and wholesaling company where most of my fix and flips are making over $100,000 profit on every single deal. And even 7-figure profits, which is $1 million+ on some of my luxury flips. That's $1 million+ profit on just one house. And I get it. I know making hundreds of thousands of dollars on just one house, or let alone $1 million on one house, sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true using this proven strategy. And I get it, that money can be hard to comprehend, especially if you're maybe working a 9-to-5 job or you're working minimum wage. But just sit here and think with me for a minute. Could you imagine what an extra $100,000 in your pocket would do for you? What kind of possibilities would that unlock? Could you maybe quit your job and live life on your terms? Could you travel the world or even maybe retire your parents? If you want a simple strategy that is profitable, sustainable, and the quickest way to build generational wealth, then this is for you. Now, before we get into it, just a little bit of background on myself because you probably don't know much about me at this point. I'm a first-generation American, and my family moved here from England in 1981 to Santa Barbara, California. My grandfather was called because he had an opportunity to purchase a very small hotel in the area. And honestly, I was fortunate to grow up in an entrepreneurial family. My uncles were in the food and beverage business, and my grandfather started a small hotel business. But fast forward years later, I was absolutely not interested in hotels, in food and beverage, really anything entrepreneurial. I wanted to go to school and pursue a career in finance. During my time at college, I had an internship with a finance company, and when I did it, I slowly came to realize that this was not the life I wanted to live. Since I wasn't fully committed to what I wanted to do, I spoke to my dad about joining the family business as soon as I graduated from school. And honestly, I worked for the family business for almost 4 years, grinding out 80 to 90 work weeks over those years. While that experience taught me a lot, I honestly hated life. I had no time to take care of myself, and I had no time for friends or family. So all my social connection was really limited to talking with guests at a hotel. I needed to find a way out because originally when I went into doing my family business, I had a chat with my father and I told him, hey, I don't really see myself doing this forever, but I probably should learn this business because at some point I will need to know how it runs. God forbid you pass away early or something like that. So I went in not knowing what my actual long-term goal was, but I went in with the intention of doing it for a couple of years. Well, a couple of years doubled into almost 4 years. I came to an extreme low point in my life. I was depressed, wasn't taking care of myself, and I figured that, hey, I need to make a change in my life, and I'm the only person who's gonna do that. Through my time at the hotel, I realized, hey, 9 to 5 isn't for me, so I'm absolutely not going back to corporate world. I figured I wanted to start a business. So one evening, I sat down with a journal and I decided whether it was a silly idea or not, I was gonna jot down every single business idea that came to mind. Stupid or not, right? I thought of restaurateur, coffee shop owner, a bunch of other things. But ultimately, I landed on rental property investor. I did a little bit of research, and if any of you know me personally, you know that once I start liking a topic, I'm pretty obsessive about it. So I just dove right in and figured like, hey, this is the thing for me. I'm gonna be a rental property guy. I had no clue about rentals. I didn't even know how to renovate a property. And heck, I didn't even know what was in a mortgage, principal, interest. I didn't even know what those things meant. So once I decided I wanted to do this rental property thing, I set out on a journey to educate myself. I told myself, hey, whether or not I feel ready, I'm going to aggressively educate myself for 90 days. That's it. And whether or not I felt ready, at the end of the 90 days, I'm gonna start trying to look for deals. Ultimately, those 90 days were up, and of course I didn't feel ready to do it, but I ended up going after it anyways. 5 months later, I found my first rental property. I had saved about $80,000 to date, and I literally invested my entire life savings into that first deal. I was temporarily broke, freaking out, and living with my parents. But God willing, that property was a success, and I got back my original investment plus some additional refi proceeds, and I had about $100,000 in my bank account. That whole process took about 6 to 7 months, and at the end of it, I was only cash flowing $100 a month. I quickly realized that my dreams of having boatloads of passive income coming into me monthly, it's gonna take a little bit longer than I thought. I wanted a quicker way to reach my financial freedom goal. I had quit my job at that time, and I didn't know what I wanted to do to make some money. That's when I decided, maybe I should get into flipping. So I set my sights on my next deal, and a couple months later, I found my first flip. That flip ended up changing my life, and I made over $120,000 in profit in 4 months. Once I saw that money drop into my bank account, the rest was history. 4 years later, I built a fix and flip and wholesale company where we flip multi-million-dollar properties. In fact, our most expensive home that we're flipping is $7 million. And I'm also doing some development where we're building commercial and residential real estate, and it's north of 500 units, all in California. The strategy was simple, but effective. And you know what else is crazy? I use strategies like using other people's money to fund my deals so that I don't have to buy the deals with my own cash. So just to break that down even further, if I'm not using my own money, but I'm also making profit, my ROI is essentially infinite because I'm making $120K profit on that deal, for example, but I didn't put any of my own money into it. Okay, if you're not excited already about 6-figure profits on flips, I want to do a little deal deep dive with you. And we're going to be talking about my first ever flip in Santa Barbara. And it's near and dear to my heart. The purchase price of the property was $850,000. And I decided to use a hard money loan to finance a portion of the property. They ended up giving me 85% on the purchase price, and they agreed to fund 100% of my renovation budget, meaning I had to come up with 15% as a down payment. This meant that 15% was around 125 grand that I needed to come up with in order to close on the deal. I then raised that $125,000 from 2 investors and used that to purchase the property for no money out of pocket. And now this was a tiny property. It was about 950 square feet. And if you know Santa Barbara real estate, buying a 950 square foot fixer-upper for 850 grand still makes sense. This property only had 2 bedrooms and it had 1 bathroom. That bathroom was in the hallway, so there wasn't a master bedroom in the property. I had to figure out a way to boost the resale value. And since the property didn't have a master bedroom, I was trying to figure out how I can do a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit, because I knew if there was a master unit, my resale value would boost up to $1.2 million. And in flipping, sometimes you need to get creative to work out deals like this because there's a lot of competition in a lot of markets in this country. In fact, a lot of people passed up on this property because they didn't see the opportunity of putting an extra bathroom in there to increase the resale value. So when I started to tour the property, I saw that one of the bedrooms actually had 2 closets in there. I was like, that's funny. I walked into one of the closets and it was a huge walk-in closet. And even funnier, that walk-in closet had a wall that was shared with the hallway bathroom, meaning the pipes in that bathroom, the plumbing was easily accessible if I just busted through the other side of that wall. And you might be thinking, why am I telling you about this? Well, I had an idea to convert that closet into a bathroom so that I can have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit on the property. And converting that closet into a bathroom would be most cost effective because there was already plumbing in the walls adjacent to that. Long story short, I ended up converting that closet into a bathroom for $8,000 on my renovation, and it increased the value over $50,000. Now the rest of the renovation was pretty straightforward. I ended up spending around $120,000 total on the renovation. It took about 2.5 months to renovate and then another month to sell. From purchase to sale, it was only 4 months, and I made over $120,000 in profit on that deal. Can you imagine making $120,000 on just one house in 4 months? And the crazy part was, I only spent 5 to 7 hours a week managing the renovation. So do the math. If you're making $120,000, only spending 5 to 7 hours a week, what is that investment on your time? Basically, that a large amount of time allowed me to look for more deals like this. Now that we're done with the deal deep dive, let's go through a little exercise using my deal calculator so that you can understand how to run the numbers and actually see what makes a good deal a good deal. And we're into our profit calculator. So I want you to all to check this out. Let's move this over here. So this is for the Alisos deal calculator that I had originally put together for you all to check out. So this was the sale price, right under 1.2. Realtor commissions. We had a commission credit because my partner Jose, he is a broker, so he was able to roll some commission into that. Title and escrow fees, government recording fees, loan charges. And I do want you to know this is buying and selling everything. So all the costs of purchasing and all the costs of selling, all the way through the renovation, things like that. This is all adjusted, right? Renovation was around 100K, mortgage payments, investor payouts. I just blacked out the investor names. And then we have our purchase price. And then ultimately we have our profits at around $133,000. Now that that's all done, I really appreciate you all sticking to the end of this video. Please go ahead and comment with any questions you may have, like and subscribe, and thank you again for watching.